Captain Marcus Chun stood at the viewport of the diplomatic cruiser Harmony, watching the swirling nebula of Kepler 442 paint the darkness in shades of violet and gold. 3 months ago, humanity had made first contact with the Zephyrian Empire, a vast interstellar civilization that controlled 17 star systems. Now, he was returning from the most important diplomatic mission in human history. The negotiations had been grueling. The Zephyrians possessed technology that could revolutionize human civilization faster than light communication, matter replication, terraforming capabilities that could turn barren worlds into garden planets. But they were cautious, having been betrayed by other species before. Trust would have to be earned. Marcus had spent weeks in the crystalline halls of their capital world, speaking with their council of minds, but it was Queen Lirelei who had ultimately held the power to approve humanity's petition for alliance. She was magnificent tall and ethereal, with skin that seemed to shimmer like starlight and eyes the color of distant galaxies. Her beauty was otherworldly, literally and figuratively. More than her appearance, though, it was her mind that captivated him. She possessed an intellect that could grasp concepts spanning multiple dimensions, yet she spoke of poetry and music with equal passion. During their formal sessions, she challenged every human assumption about progress and civilization. During their private walks through her palace gardens, she shared stories of her people's history with a vulnerability that surprised him. Somewhere between debate and diplomacy, something deeper had grown between them. It was unprecedented, a human and an alien leader developing feelings that transcended species boundaries. The very idea would shock both their peoples. "Captain," came the voice of his communications officer, Lieutenant Torres. "Queen Lirelei is requesting a private channel." Marcus's pulse quickened. They had been traveling for 2 days since leaving Zephyria Prime. He had assumed their connection was limited to those golden weeks of negotiation. "Put her through," he said, moving to his ready room. The holographic display activated, and there she was, but something was different. Her usual regal composure seemed strained, her luminous features shadowed with uncertainty. "Marcus," she said, and his name on her lips still sent electricity through him. "I need to tell you something before you reach Earth, something that will change everything between us." He leaned forward. "What is it?" She took what appeared to be a deep breath, though he wasn't sure if her species actually breathed. "The form you know me in this appearance, it is not natural to me. We Zephyrians are shapeshifters in a sense. We can project idealized forms, images that appeal to other species' aesthetic preferences. When your people first arrived, our scientists analyzed human neural patterns and cultural data. This form I wear was designed to be pleasing to human sensibilities." Marcus felt something cold settle in his stomach. "You mean ... you've been wearing a disguise?" "Not a disguise," she said quickly. "It is still me, my mind, my personality, my memories, but my physical form." She paused, and for the first time since he'd known her, she looked afraid. "My true body is very different from what you've seen." The hologram flickered, and Marcus realized she was preparing to show him. "Lirelei, you don't have to—" "Yes, I do." Her voice was firm. "If there is to be anything real between our peoples, it must be built on truth." The shimmering humanoid form began to change. The elegant limbs elongated and segmented. Her skin shifted from starlight silver to a deep iridescent purple-black that seemed to absorb light. Multiple appendages unfurled from her torso, not quite arms, not quite tentacles, but something uniquely her own. Her face restructured itself into something entirely alien, with features that followed no human template of beauty. Large, compound eyes regarded him with an intelligence that was unmistakably her, but housed in a form that belonged to no human dream or fantasy. "This is my real body," she said, her voice unchanged despite the transformation. "Do you still want me?" Marcus stared at the hologram for a long moment. His first instinct was shock, the human brain struggling to process something so far outside its evolutionary experience. But as he looked closer, he began to see past the alienness. The way she held herself, the slight tilt of her head when she was thinking, the subtle movements that had become familiar to him, they were all still there. "You're still you," he said finally. "Yes," she replied, uncertainty still coloring her voice. "But I am not beautiful by your species' standards. I am not the idealized form your minds find attractive. I am alien, Marcus, truly alien." He stood up, moving closer to the holographic display. "Lirelei, do you know what humanity's greatest strength is?" She remained silent, watching him with those compound eyes. "It's adaptation," he continued. "Not just biological adaptation, though. We've done plenty of that. It's our ability to expand our definition of what's normal, what's acceptable, what's beautiful. 1,000 years ago, humans who looked like me would have been exotic and strange to other human cultures. We learned to see past surface differences." He reached out, his hand passing through the hologram where her alien appendage moved. "I won't lie and say the physical form doesn't matter at all," he admitted. "But what drew me to you wasn't just how you looked in that other shape. It was your mind, your passion for justice, the way you challenged me to think beyond human limitations. It was the way you worried about the smallest members of your society, and how you could debate quantum mechanics one moment and compose poetry the next." Her compound eyes seemed to focus more intently on him. "Beauty," Marcus continued, "is not a fixed thing. It's something we learn, something we grow into understanding. I've seen humans fall in love with artificial intelligences, with concepts, with ideas. If we can find a way to bridge the gap between our species technologically and culturally, we can bridge it personally too." "You say this now," Lirelei said, "but when you see me in person, when the reality of what I am settles in—" "Then we'll figure it out together," Marcus interrupted. "Isn't that what love is supposed to be? Not finding someone perfect, but finding someone worth figuring it out with." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then slowly, the alien queen's form shifted slightly, a gesture he had learned meant. She was considering something carefully. "Your species continues to surprise me," she said finally. "Perhaps that is why the Council approved the alliance. Humanity's capacity for adaptation extends beyond technology and warfare. It reaches into the very core of how you define relationship and connection." "Is that what we have?" Marcus asked. "A relationship?" Her laugh was the same musical sound he remembered, even coming from this very different form. "I suppose we're about to find out, aren't we?" As the Harmony continued its journey toward Earth, Marcus found himself looking forward to the challenge. Ahead, humanity had always excelled at expanding their definitions of what was possible. Now they would have the chance to expand their definition of love itself. The stars wheeled on, indifferent to the small miracle of understanding taking shape between two impossible beings from different worlds.